Hello everyone, I'm John Follett, and behind me is my prized possession, or possessions rather, my magnum opus, otherwise known as my Lego collection. I started this collection about 8 years ago when I was in middle school, and while I'm still growing and adding onto it more and more every day, it's gotten to a point where I'm proud to show it off to people. I'm making this video because when I was a kid, I loved watching collection videos on YouTube. I would watch the same couple of videos of some guy in his late 30s showing off his toys and being like, damn, I wish I had something like that. I've always wanted to have a collection of something. I've tried with multiple kinds of collectibles throughout my life. Funko Pops, Amiibos. I did records for about a month, but I was like, this is not for me. I thought this was perfect because it's a cross-section of two of my lifelong interests, that being Lego sets and Marvel movies. Every stage of my adolescence could be characterized by which Lego theme I was building during those years, starting with Lego Ninjago, moving on to Star Wars, DC superheroes, and now Marvel. I don't have much of a collector's mindset. Almost nothing on this wall was bought strictly for the purpose of growing my collection. If I think something's overpriced or if I think that I don't need it, I'll happily skip out on it. And these sets behind me are only based on the Marvel Cinematic Universe. There are a few movies and shows that are tangentially related. If I had all the money in the world, sure, I would buy the Daily Bugle, but I don't have all the money in the world. So this is a more realistic look at what a Lego collection could look like. I know it's pretty meager compared to most other people you might see online. I'm also not big into buying like displays such as busts or buildable figures, or there are a couple of gloves out there. For this video, I cataloged each and every Lego set that I own and added up all the prices to see how much money I've spent in total. I have exactly 60 Lego Marvel sets, adding up to a total of $3,254.40. I'm probably going to round up for the title and thumbnail for this video, so right now you're looking at my $3,300 Lego Marvel collection. With all that being said, I thought I would share my history, give my opinions, and show off all the cool stuff on this wall behind me. This shelf I like to call my Wakanda display. It features both the Battle of Wakanda from Infinity War and Black Panther 2 Wakanda Forever. The Infinity War sets are ones that I got way back in 2018 when the movie was first coming out. I think I saw them at a Walmart and I decided to get the two least expensive ones. And the moment I saw that each set came with an Infinity Stone that you could add to Thanos' gauntlet, I knew that I had to collect them all. It took me a while and I only got the 6th stone because I got the Sanctum Sanctorum set for Christmas one year. The Hulkbuster that I have on display here is not from 2018. It's from a more recent set based on Infinity War. I like the look of this one better, so I keep the original one in a box stored away. Next to that is Black Panther Wakanda Forever, featuring Namor, who I love. I really like this movie. I've seen it so many times despite how long it is. Under that is my most recent shelf that I bought, and probably one of my favorite displays. I like to call it my New York City. This is where I have the Sanctum Sanctorum from Infinity War, as well as the Spider-Man Brand New Day sets, one of which being the Damage Control building. I thought displaying these two structures together would be perfect. This is also where I keep the figures from Marvel's CMF series, as they don't belong to a set, they're just loose figures. And right in the corner, next to the New York Bulletin newsstand, is where I keep my custom Lego Karen Page. Her standing next to the newspaper with Daredevil on it is the closest I'll ever get to having an MCU Lego Daredevil. Hopefully one day Charlie Cox's Daredevil will have an official Lego minifigure. I can only dream. Next to the Damage Control building, I have Galactus fighting the Fantastic Four. I love this set. I love having the Fantastic Four in Lego form finally. Next to them I put Uatu the Watcher from the What If series as a reference to the first time they fight Galactus in the comics. I put my Shang-Chi display right in front of the Brand New Day sets as both movies were directed by the same person. And right up against the wall are the two Tobey Maguire Spider-Man sets based on Spider-Man's 2 and 3. I thought the subway train would fit the whole New York City aesthetic, and I love having scenes from these movies in Lego form as those movies were my entire childhood. Now we move on to my longest shelf, starting with two Spider-Man No Way Home sets that you can combine into one display. Having all three live-action Spider-Mans as well as their villains in Lego form is just crazy to me. This is definitely up there as one of my favorite parts of my collection. Tucked in the back next to it is the Sanctum's basement from the No Way Home sets that came out before the movie. In front of it is sort of my Iron Man display that includes one set from all three movies in the trilogy. This is where we get to the endgame portion of my collection, starting with the Avengers in their time travel suits. I gave some of them Infinity Stones to represent the time heist that they execute in the movie. With their matching uniforms, it looks really satisfying when you display them next to each other. Right in the middle of this shelf is my display of the Battle of Earth from Avengers Endgame. This includes two Avengers compound sets, as well as the giant Ant-Man buildable figure and the War Machine mech. This display is another favorite of mine, and it's followed by the new Asgard diorama with Korg, Meek, and Fat Thor playing Fortnite. In front of it is where I keep the figures and builds from the Guardians of the Galaxy Lego Advent Calendar released around Christmas time. After that is the set that they released for the Marvels, including Captain Marvel's ship the Hoopty, as well as the one from Captain America Brave New World, including the Red Hulk Big figure. After this is what I like to call the multiversal section, as I have Loki and Sylvie who travel the multiverse, as well as the Captain Carter variant hopping through a Doctor Strange portal, and the 2 mechs that they made from Marvel's What If. This blue Quinjet as well as the War Machine Buster are from the Avengers Endgame run that they released before the movie came out, and I use this to display any other Avengers minifigures that I have that won't fit anywhere else. Moving on to my 4th and final shelf, the first half of which I like to call the Cosmic section, starting with my Guardians of the Galaxy display. I have all the Guardians in their uniforms from Volume 3, as well as a custom Star-Lord in his spacesuit from the Orgoscope scene. I put the Infinity War Thanos figure next to Ronan and Nebula because it best matches his look from Guardians of the Galaxy 1. After that is the Eternals. I have every single Eternals Lego set. I might be the only person in the world who can say that. It's always tricky when displaying these ones because each set comes with a buildable Deviant. These can get quite big and I don't want to take up too much space on my shelves with the Deviants from the Eternals movie. Although I really like that movie, I think it's crucially underrated. I also love having the build of Arishem the Celestial. It looks great and it helps tie together all the movies from the cosmic portion of this shelf. The next of which being 2 Thor-based sets, one from Ragnarok and one from Love and Thunder. The Goat Boat is another one that I have trouble displaying just because of its shape. That's why this shelf may seem a little more crowded than the other ones. The second half of this shelf I like to call my Avengers section, starting with 3 sets based on Age of Ultron, 1 from the Hulkbuster vs. Hulk fight, and 2 from the opening scene against Hydra. This set mimicking the slow motion team up shot from Age of Ultron is another one of my favorites. It's such an amazing display piece. I have a couple of minifigures from Captain Marvel in front of the buildable Marvel logo with all 6 of the original Avengers. I added the Hawkeye from the Avengers Tower because I think LEGO forgot about the 6th OG Avenger for some reason. I don't know what happened there. Followed by a gray Quinjet with most of the Avengers fighting Loki. Finally is the big one. This is probably the one thing I would take if my house was burning down. That is the $500 modular Avengers Tower set. This thing is huge. I built it all the day that I got it. It probably took me about 12 hours. I love looking at it. It has so many minifigures and such cool poses you can put them in, as well as so many little Easter eggs and references within the build. There's another Daredevil reference in this set too. I really appreciate that. I put a different Hawkeye along with a few Ultron bots, another Chitauri Leviathan, and a Homecoming Spider-Man figure hanging from the tower. So that's it. That's my entire collection. That's years of my life and thousands of dollars that you're looking at. Hopefully that's enough to make you leave a like on this video. If anybody's watching this who's a higher up at a LEGO company, could you please try and fast track the production of an MCU Daredevil figure, please? Set, or at least a figure. That's all I'm asking for. Anyways, thank you all for watching this video. I'll check back with you guys in 8 years when my collection is hopefully 4 times the size and I have a whole room in my house dedicated to it. But until then, I'll see you guys in the next episode. Goodbye.